Data is derived from the Latin word datum, which loosely translated as something given. Information is derived from the Latin word informere, which is to form. So, it is that information is data that has been given meaning. Information is an abstraction of objects. The information represents patterns. Information influences actions. Information is communicated. Information is the foundation of knowledge. Knowledge, coupled with experience, leads to wisdom. The analogy could be drawn that data are the raw materials, and the information is the finished goods. The words in this presentation are data. Their structure within sentences provides information. If successful, this presentation will impart knowledge to you to enable you to perform portfolio management activities. You then will have wisdom, we hope. High-quality data and information provide organizations with knowledge to enable effective actions and decisions. Non-existent data and information, or poor quality data and information, lead organizations to either fly blind or fly into the side of a mountain. Research indicates that 90% of all business decisions are suboptimal because of data quality. Ironically, the biggest data quality complaint does not pertain to the accuracy of the data but the completeness of the data. Incomplete data translate into incomplete information, which leads decision makers to rely on intuition with greater frequency than desired. Most organizations do not know what data or information they have. They have no idea about the value of their data or information. Most organizations are aware that their data are important, valuable, and imperfect. Organizations are making concerted efforts to improve data quality through cleansing and enrichment. There is, however, so much data and information that it is often difficult to determine where to focus data quality efforts. While it is simple enough to state that information and data should be treated as organizations would treat financial and material assets, the fact is that most organizations do not even know the difference between data and information. Most collapse data and that which the data represent. A few leading organizations have formal methods to gauge and improve how they manage and leverage their information and data. They are in the minority. Portfolio management can be applied to making sense of the morass of data and information that flood organizations. It enables organizations to focus on data quality and decision support efforts, on what matters by identifying the entities that are critical to the business, their key descriptors, and the information maintained on these entities. It could legitimately be argued that the information sub-portfolio is metadata for the entire portfolio. Practically speaking, a portfolio of data isn't practical. Anything put into the information sub-portfolio, by definition, is information, making the information sub-portfolio ethereal and circular. Objectives for portfolio management must be defined and attainable. These objectives must then be attained pragmatically. If the organization is awash with data stores, these data stores can be rationalized with portfolio management. If the organization is awash with reports, often referred to as information products, these reports can be rationalized with portfolio management. Data about the information, that is the crux of the objectives, are collected and compiled into information using the same portfolio management process that is used for project and asset portfolio management. Those who have ventured into the information sub-portfolio through portfolio management have generally collected a list of the key entities that make the organization tick. These entities are usually smaller and simpler in nature than might be imagined. They consist of the basics: customer, employee, product, service, and a handful of basic descriptors of things that require tracking and decision support. For example, a multi-billion-dollar the United States retailer distilled the number of key entities that must be stewarded into 26 items. These 26 items were assigned basic attributes, like name, description, synonyms, then mapped to other sub-portfolio items that rely on these entities, for example, applications, processes, and people. What became apparent in this instance was a lack of good stewardship with the information. The most critical entities were tracked in multiple systems. No conscious coordination existed. No ownership existed. This enabled information management principles to be created. This enabled data quality efforts to be focused at the root cause. In another instance, the key entities were collected in a portfolio view, and assigned value based on the value of the processes that relied on that information and the costs to maintain that information. Activity-based costing was applied to entities to provide an indication of their value. This enabled the organization to align the amount and types of effort stewarding the information to the relative value of that information. Other organizations that truly provide information products can assign actual value to the information products and fundamentally portfolio management approach. Greater focus can be directed to those information products that will be providing greater market share or revenue. Information products that are mature or declining in market share or revenue receive less focus. This same rationale can be applied to internal information products. The information and data portfolio helps management understand what entities must be monitored and how. Management can identify the value drivers behind information and data, and direct the level and type of stewardship that must be given, for example, accuracy, reliability, security, timeliness, integrability. The information and data portfolio helps management define the benefit of a specific unit of information or the contribution to revenues or margins, carrying costs or unnecessary inventory, latency, costs to obtain or generate that unit of information, as well as the costs to store and maintain it, and leverage and assimilate it into operations. Management can define key criteria and weighting factors that can be used within the entire portfolio. Management can optimize the benefits and minimize the risks associated with the information and data, like how information can flow more readily through information supply chains from the place where it is captured or generated to where it can be leveraged to optimize or maximize certain business processes.